what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Top Flight Pod. You know what it is. You know what we're here to do. We're back in studio today. Beautiful Austin, Texas. It is episode 300, gentlemen. 300. Chief Keef, Sosa. 300. I can't believe it. Like the movie, The Romans, whatever that movie is called. Episode 300, mate. We're here with Alex, The Last Dance, his final episode in Austin. I mean, I believe in coincidences. I believe in, these divine alignments of things. I mean, preseason game where the fans can go. Alex's last dance. He's literally leaving this week. I mean, everything is kind of, it's like a closing of a circle.
God came down and gave us an ice storm to push back an episode.
Yeah, literally. Seriously, mate. But we wanted you to be here for the kit release, unfortunately, and that's not going to happen. Yeah. But Alex, we'll start off with you, mate. Welcome to the show, bro. It's episode 300. The last one, you'll be here in Austin, mate. How are you doing?
Mate, it's weird, Like you just say, welcome to the show, and you just took me back to the very first time.
Damn.
Like a couple of years ago. Like years, mate. Years. It's been years.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? No, but I'm happy, obviously. Always happy to be here. Always happy to be part of We're Austin TV, Austin FC. And I just can't believe it, honestly. I can't believe it.
And on that note, I want to break down the episode real quick. Of course, the preseason game just happened. I know a lot of you are here to hear us talk about that game. We're going to get through that first, and then stick around the second half of the episode. We're going to talk about just anecdotes, things that we lived, as a group in our time with Alex, covering this team and other things. We did a bunch of cups, international competitions as well. So that'll be today's episode. We'll talk about what is happening with Austin FC, and we'll give you a treat there at the end. Maybe some things that we've never told before. We might pop some things out. Who knows, mate? But B, how are you doing, bro?
Doing pretty good. Like I said, happy to be here as well. Weather's a lot better this weekend. It was a beautiful day. It was chilly. Yeah. Sun was out. Great day for some footy, of course, the weekend. So happy to be here. Sunday.
Happy to be here, mate, of course. And we got Primo on the ones and twos, but not just Primo. We also have a special guest in the city, in the building, welcoming our good friend, Aaron Caldwell, visiting us all the way from Louisiana. Hopefully, we're going to have him here a lot more. Keep an eye out on him, on his socials. He's going to be taking the photo game by storm with a lot of the other guys that already work with us, like Dante Valencia, RDZ Flicks, Osvaldo as well. A lot of talented guys on our roster, and Aaron is one of those guys as well. But Primo, how are you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing good. Had to be here for Alex's last episode. I've told Alex goodbye 3 times, bro.
Alex is on a farewell tour.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see him one last time. So I had to be here for Alex's last.
Historical moment, mate. Historical. And if you could swing the mic a little bit, Aaron, just real quick, mate. Send a shout out to the people.
What's up, everybody? It's Aaron from Louisiana. Happy to be in Austin. It's like home. And just can't wait to actually make this my home.
Might go see you soon. My father and I were talking about hitting up the casinos. So, might see you soon, brother. But anyways, like I said, we got a lot to talk about on today's podcast. I do want to send a shout out to everybody on the Patreon, everybody on the Discord. That's a way to support what we do here. We've been doing it for a long time. I believe we do it at a very good, high level. And I appreciate everybody that's already on there, that already supports this platform. And we got a lot of big plans, a lot of big stuff. As you guys can see, we've grown tremendously, and we're very thankful for it. And we don't want to stop there. We want to continue growing, and kind of like on the topic of Alex, because he's done so much for us as well. And without him, I think we wouldn't be where we are today. But we could start off by talking about the game that happened today at Q2 Stadium, gentlemen. Austin FC played New York City FC in a semi-closed preseason friendly. It was open to season ticket members only. There was about 2,000 people that showed up, maybe 3,000. Folks were saying that it was a little light. I'm wondering if the cold weather had some effect on it. Maybe some people are sick. And it was just season ticket members only. So I don't think the stadium would have been full if all the season ticket members even went. So there was for sure some absences. There were some transfers or whatnot. Like I gave my ticket to Primo. That's how he got to go to the game. So there was some transfers or whatnot. But Alex, talking about kind of like the experience before we get into the more tactical part of this conversation. What did you think about your last time at Q2? Unfortunately, you didn't get to see a win, but take us through it.
No, I mean, it's always a pleasure to be in Q2 Stadium, I think people don't realize how much of a privilege it is to have this stadium in this town. Um, Talking about our experiences, right? When we came to Copa America to the Venezuela game, I saw some journalists that have been to World Cups since like 2002, right? And have covered so many different tournaments all around the world, and some of them came to Q2 and said, this is one of the best stadiums I've ever seen in my life. So just take that from people that have traveled and seen so many stadiums in their lives. To say that about this stadium right here in this city, it's amazing, and it really is special to go into that stadium week in and week out. When the season starts, it's always magical. It's always amazing. So I love it. I love coming to Q2 Stadium. I love seeing even today that there were maybe 2,000 fans. You could tell that people are happy to come to the stadium. People are happy to experience this, even if they didn't win today. It's like they know it's preseason. They know it's just coming to see your team. So many little kids getting this passion about the sport. Parents taking them.
Bali was back.
Bali was back. Yeah,
Bali was back.
Yeah, I mean,
I was confirmed.
So many
That's
things.
confirmed.
It's.
No, it definitely, mate. And it was nice to see Q2 Stadium empty and fully functional because you got to see like all the seats and the colors and whatnot. It's a very beautiful stadium,
Yes,
man.
it is.
None other than B knows how beautiful that stadium is and how
You're
I
welcome,
went.
brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, bro. Remember that guy from the fan reaction that was all like, I built that.
That
What
was the
it, Daniel?
first. That was the home opener.
Oh, that was a home
That was
opener.
a home opener. He said he was stuck outside because
Yeah.
he went inside to get his ticket and he walked out and he couldn't get back in.
And
man.
it was his birthday.
And I built all the domain.
Yeah, I built the domain. Oh, memories. Talking
If
about
you know,
memories.
you know. That's
If
a
you
crazy.
know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. But like we said, it ended 2-0. And one thing, of course, that is being thrown out, it is a preseason game. But I have a couple bits of criticism that I had for some of the things that I saw out there. It's not anything too crazy. It's not anything too hectic or whatnot. Because like we talked to Coach Nico after the match, and he was saying preseason is a liar, and he said that to the media, to the fans last year as well. Pretty much the narrative around that is I can have a great preseason and I could turn around and we can have a terrible whole year, or I can have a terrible preseason and I can have a great year. The two don't really tie into each other. And me personally, what I like to see from a preseason is just guys getting out there, getting the bad touches out, getting fit for the real thing. And although Austin has now a draw, a win, and a loss, I mean, I'm not going to come on here and say that the world is falling, that the sky is falling or whatnot. There's things
Bali
to
would have
work
to come
on.
here.
There's things to work on 100%, but there's also a lot of positives to roll in to the Coachella Valley Invitational. But, kind of speaking on that, Alex, kind of what did you think of the game? It's difficult to cast judgment on this particular match with all the rotation or whatnot, but what did you think of what you saw?
I stand on that. Like, I'm not gonna judge on a preseason game, especially when all of your main offensive guys are not playing. Maybe Nelson, but then Nelson is one of the guys that just came to this team, so he's not. He doesn't have the chemistry with all of the other players. So it's like, I mean, yeah, we lost. Obviously, we don't like losing, but at the same time, it wasn't a serious match, per se. I like that I saw some things about some players like Rosales, like Nelson. They had some attitude. Alastuwe also had, this little fire that he wants to ignite and help the team trying to make it to the first team. So like you could tell there are things that are good, right? And something that you could say is that also we lost, and there were 2 goals that were scored on us on transition. But that was also because the team was attacking and then caught on defensive transition. Meaning they tried to be offensive, trying to fix what they were so criticized about last season, and they were just cutting the mistake. And I think that's actually even good, because that then tells you, hey, they're trying to attack. They got scored on when they messed up. But it's preseason. That's what preseason is for,
and,
right?
And one of the little bits of criticism that I had after we left the stadium after watching this game was there was a brief moment, and you obviously saw it as well, where Hines like looked frustrated with Beetle because he didn't play the ball to his feet. Those are the bad passes that the team has to get out of their system before things start to get real. And even then, how many times will you hear in MLS, the beginning of the season, it doesn't really matter as the second half or whatnot. So there's definitely stages, and you got to know how to navigate these waters. So that's why I'm not going to put too much weight on even what I see in Coachella, because we've seen players have preseasons like Jimmy Farcarlin did last year at Coachella.
Saovic had a great preseason last year.
No real indication at all of what's going to happen later on.
The iconic Redes preseason.
He had 4 goals in one preseason. I remember that.
Yeah, it was like, wow.
So, but to me, one of the things, just that frustration with Hines, like I was with him because I felt like that as well. I wanted to throw my hands as soon as I saw Beetle misplace a simple pass. And there was a lot of other things that I saw that the players were misplacing balls. Either they were too short of a pass, or they overcooked it, or it wasn't to the feet, and it made the other player either stretch out more than he needed to get the ball. And that was kind of one of the only things that I was like, guys, what is going on here? But there's also another thing that we have to point out, Alex and B, is that there are new players in the back line that started today. You had John Bell, Rosales. You also had Heinzike and Gallagher. I mean, it's the first time that these guys are, probably playing a competitive game together. I think this was competitive because it is MLS teams that you're playing versus, not the USL guys. But those little sequences of passes where they weren't able to connect them consistently, I felt like Heinzike.
No, and not even that, because I think you agree with me that we saw some mistakes or we saw some guys that we were like, they're not playing well. But you could tell, you had the feeling that they were not playing well, but because the chemistry is not there yet. Like because they are the new guys, right? Like Nelson was trying, Rosales was trying, Bell was trying, and it's not like they were terrible, but you could tell there were mistakes that they happened just because they are not really not connected to the rest 100%. Of the team yet. So 100%. It's like, I mean, it's understandable.
100%. Honestly, yeah. Now, going through this lineup real quick, to start the game, you had Brad Stuber as captain in goal, of course. You had John Gallagher at the right back position. Brandon Heinzike was at the center back position with John Bell. And it was a little bit interesting. We'll talk about it here right now in this back line topic. And next to John Bell, on defense, you had Rosales. But in the attack, Rosales joined the midfield and he pushed forward like if he was Robert Taylor, like if he was Jaden Nelson.
He was Cucurella.
That's in his locker. We saw him do that with Minnesota. And even in the interview that we had with him, Alex, he said his position really wasn't set. He likes to play as carrilero. He likes to play as winger. He's also, very well known at that left back position. And I thought it was very interesting in that first half, seeing how Rosales was operating, going from defense when needed to transitioning into the attack when Austin was on the break. And this is probably day one that people get to see it. They've probably been working on it for maybe 2 weeks that Rosales has been here. But I'm excited to see what this develops into, where this ends up at. And that's why I asked Coach Nico in the presser, how is Rosales going to fit into your system after what you saw today? And I think his answer was great. He said he has qualities going forward, qualities going back. And I also couldn't help but think this. I told you when we were watching this game up in the box, I said, I can't help but think that Rosales has qualities of Kolmanic and qualities of Biru in one man. Yep. So I think that's something to keep an eye on, that left back position. But thoughts on what Rosales was doing and what Bell was also doing?
No, Rosales, I think he's committed. He really wants to play in this team. He really wants to do something. I agree about the Kolmanic and Biru combination, because he does have like the aggressiveness of Biru, right? But with the attacking quality of Kolmanic. So it really gives me good vibes regarding the future, regarding whenever he finally gets settled in with the team or whatever, he's gonna be really good. Yeah. And something that caught my ear, I'll say, because when Nico said it, is that he hasn't trained as a left back.
He said that
he has only trained as a winger.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, so we're treating Rosales definitely more as an attacker, and that's also a reason of why when Vito came on the second half, Vito was a center back. He wasn't a left back.
Yep.
The left back was Kolmanic.
And also, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, Coach Nico says it, but if you were thinking about this before, it was probably making sense to you what you saw today and what Coach Nico tells us, because Austin FC currently has an abundance at left back. They have maybe one too many players at that position. You got the Biru, you got Kolmanich, you got John Bell, Rosales. You know, you have great players at that position, and really only two guys are going to see most of the minutes. You know what I'm saying? So it's very interesting to hear that from Coach Nico, that Rosales hasn't even thought about playing fullback. He's been attack-minded, and I saw a lot of that in today from Rosales. He was doing the duty on defense. He was like, we're talking about his physicality, but he was also pushing up on both sides. I saw him on the right at times, taking corners, and also switching over to the left with Robert Taylor. So I'm very excited to see what Rosales is going to, kind of develop as under Coach Nico. But B, I want to bring you in, mate, because Alex and I, we were analyzing this game from the box, but kind of what sensations does this bring you? These conversations that we're having about these new guys like Rosales, because we haven't even got to Nelson yet.
No, I mean, first of all, I want to say great insight right here. I mean, who else would I want to hear about this and what's going on than you two guys? So I'm learning just as the fans are listening. I wasn't at the game, so I couldn't really see. But this is Rosales player. I mean, I think his addition to the squad allows Nico to, it almost like it unlocks certain other ways to maybe he can play with this team in certain situations of the game, whether it's when you're down, when you're up. I mean, imagine you're holding a lead and Rosales coming off or chasing the goal, and you can bring in a player like Rosales or have him from the bench. So I think this kind of adds more tools to Nico's shed in a way for the squad. And this is preseason, brothers. Like, come on, let's I
think we overcooked it.
Yeah, let's give one thing for me, at least my opinion. This is just to put faces in positions. When Rosales is in the field, okay, that face is over here. He plays that position. Just get the staff, the stadium. Where do I drive to park? And when I come to I've never driven down. This is my commute to work. This is getting all that, getting the lungs going, and on top of that, getting the young bucks who want to be heard, who want to be seen. A perfect platform to do that.
And also it's also very important to point out maybe some frustrations that some fans are currently going through. And I think a few of them are valid, but we also have to point out, if you're worried about the lack of goals that have been scored in the first 3 games, you got to remember that Brandon Vasquez is not there. Mirtu Suni is still injured. Owen Wolf is dealing with an injury that he needed a surgery for. Facundo Torres, we thought we were going to see him today. He was dressed out in street clothes, and he was watching it. The entire attack of Austin FC has not been complete this entire preseason.
That's what I'm saying.
23 games.
If you want something to complain about, you're going to complain about losing 2-0 to New York City. No, let's complain about why certain players. We got word that Dessler is injured.
Yep.
We want to know what's going on with Owen, what his timeline is. If you want to be upset, let's be upset at that. Like let's look at maybe. Hey, man.
And even then, Coach Nico today said, and there's some of the updates that we're going to get to, he said, Owen, he's following the timeline perfectly. It's just a matter of what, and Coach Nico said this as well. And I believe Stuver did as well. Once everybody is back, this team is going to look different. Team is going to be playing different. So I hear the people that were at the stadium today and you wanted to see a goal from Austin FC. You are in the right 100% because that's what the fan is there to do. You're there to be entertained.
And also,
right?
It says a lot to the ambition of the fan base in this city. Like
100%.
We're taking this. If you think this is serious, like no, this is the bar. We're setting kind of like in a weird way of not a bar, but like you know what I'm saying. We're like fans are upset. They're at the game at a preseason game. We couldn't score a goal. They're upset. That just tells you that we're not.
The fans want things. Yeah. The fans want a lot. And Alex, you even asked a question about that. I believe it was to Facundo or somebody recently, but you said this is an ambitious fan base.
Yeah.
And they want things. They want trophies. They want cups. So definitely, the fans keep asking for these things, keep asking for results, but you also have to understand that the team is not complete. It is preseason, and they're building towards the end product that is clearly not there yet. I want to see Facundo Torres, like everybody else. But until then, I can't cast judgment on a preseason.
No, the thing is that we have so many injuries. I mean, obviously, Brandon Vasquez, right? Then Mirtu Suni also came back with an injury. Owen had an injury from the previous season that wasn't treated. Right, Facundo Torres is coming from an injury with Palmeiras.
Yeah,
Mateja woke up today with a fever. Right, so
and Coach Nico said that completely threw their rotational plans out the window. They had to make
still he was a CB. So I mean,
we still wanted to minor there was people asking for him.
Yeah, and then Dessler too, right? So.
Dessler,
I mean, it's just like we have a lot of minor injuries, except BV, obviously. A lot of minor injuries in very important players so we didn't have them today. So it's like
this is just going to delay the process of.
Real quick, do we have to ask the question about Mikel Dessler? what's going on with Mikel? Coach Nico said that it was like an overload, right? This is happening often.
But I don't think so. You know why? Because when we heard about his signing, we already knew from France that he was injury prone. Like we had already seen that.
Criticism that Bali had when we signed him.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's something that I'm keeping an eye on. When is he going to come back? How is he going to come back? And Coach Nico said that it is soon. He's coming back soon. Everybody's coming back soon.
And to be fair to him, when he comes back and he does pretty.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
If you can't stay healthy, though, what good is it that you're the best right back on paper? That's why Johnny G is so valuable.
Yeah, that's one.
But even then, I mean, you can say that, but how many games Dessler played last season? He played most of them.
Yeah, he
Like,
played, but he rarely completed 90 minutes.
Yeah, no, I agree. But then again, like, only the Johnny G you can expect to play 90 minutes all of the time.
True.
You know,
I mean, he did win the beep test.
yeah,
Again.
exactly. So
And
it's
again.
like, it's. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of weight on things that are relatively normal. Or yeah, you can say he gets injured a lot, but he played most of the season last year. So it's like,
And his injuries are always tiny.
Yeah.
They're never long term.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we'll give him that as well. Now, I do want to mention the midfield of that first lineup because it is important to talk about these next two names. And we don't got to take too long on it, but I do want to give them credit. Nico Dubersarski gave us a different look that we have not seen of him.
Yes.
He's finally comfortable.
Bro, they-
No, I'm serious, B. I'm
really?
serious, B.
Yeah.
Don't start, bro.
All right.
I'm serious. We saw, I don't know if people out there that were at Q2 today will agree with me, but I saw something different from Nico Dubersarski today, and I think you're going to go off on it as well. And Danny Pereira, I saw him very advanced.
Yeah.
I saw him free. I feel like he was happy.
and I think one had to do with the other, because Nico Dubersarski was so confident today. He was in a Casemiro style kind of play.
He really was. He really was.
He was the bulldog, the defensive bulldog right in front of the CBs, and he was just running his head up. He was tackling, sliding. He was getting that ball back and then making great passes.
What they brought him here to do.
It's preseason. It's preseason.
It sounds
right?
familiar, brother,
Right?
because I can remember some people up in a parking garage with some binoculars saying, I'm hearing the same thing I was hearing from those binoculars, brother.
That's it.
So
I think that's fair criticism.
But that's the thing. It's preseason, right? So everything could change. But what we saw today was a very positive change on Nico.
Yes.
And Nico was being so confident and so reliable defensively that Danny did not worry and was able to push forward. And Danny was actually the one creating the plays for Austin FC.
if you tell me
One with the
a
other.
player, if you tell me a player is adamant and he's animated, he's taking this seriously. To me, I love seeing that.
Look, to me, what I saw today from Nico Dubersarski is a player that realized, like, yo, I got to fight for my position or I'm gone.
Yeah.
And I really feel like Nico Dubersarski today was a start. And today, not even today, I'm saying today because it's the first time that people got to put eyes on what the team is actually doing, right? It's just updates until today. And today, the eye test, Nico Dubersarski passed.
Yes.
I liked it.
Yes.
I liked it. And it is preseason. You did well today. Build on it, right? Some positives to build on.
I don't even think we're building yet, bro. I think we're just getting the material
I'm not
right
even
now.
going to comment on it. I was gonna make a comment, but I'm not even gonna comment on something extra. But anyways, Jaden Nelson. Well, Danny Pereira. We expect these things from him.
Yeah.
I think Nico Dubersarski is
just
more of
got
a
it.
bigger segment.
Yeah.
But Danny Pereira, he looked free. He looked well. He looked happy, and hopefully he can continue this into the season. We were saying how he got a lot of touches in the opponent's third.
He got
in
into
Austin's
the
final
opponent's
third.
box, and then he was the one making the through passes, the through
To
balls
Jaden.
to Jaden. Yeah, to even CJ also got some of them,
Yeah.
right? So Danny was creating, but also because Jorge Alastue, he was running all everywhere, and he was opening up those spaces by being marked, right?
That's true. Right. All right. The next two names, Jaden Nelson, Alastue, Jorge.
Yeah.
We got to talk about these two guys because, I think that there were some positives. They had some spark in the final third for Austin FC. Starting with Jaden Nelson, though. This is a guy that's coming from the Vancouver Whitecaps, very successful 2025. The move to Austin was based around him finding minutes with Canada and solidifying himself for the position that he wants in the World Cup. We see he changed his number. He's number 7 for Austin FC. He has the aura. He has the beautiful, luscious Tony Polamalu kind of hair, head and shoulders. What's up? Maybe some kind of sponsorship, right? But anyways, I liked what I saw from Jaden Nelson at the level of knowing that it is preseason. This is a new player that's coming in with Austin FC. He has very little chemistry with these guys, but he looked like he wanted to get down the field. And what I liked about him is that he was making the runs that Buka used to make, overlapping Dessler. He was making the runs that you want that right-wing player to make, and then he was sending the deadly ball into the penalty. And I couldn't help but imagining Brandon Vasquez there in 2 or 3 months slotting that into the back of the net. And I'm excited to see that from Jaden Nelson, but also from Danny Pereira, to be free in the midfield, open it up to Jaden Nelson, and then Jaden Nelson, much like we saw in that highlight goal that got them the win against Louisville, where he finds Jorge. I'm expecting that from Jaden Nelson a lot this season. I saw a little bit of that today versus New York. The goals didn't come. I'm not saying that they did, but there was things that players were doing that are going to foreshadowing things that they're going to do good when the season does kick off.
And
But
that
Jaden,
was one of the things that we saw, the connection between Danny and Nelson.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, Nelson has no chemistry. He has like 10% chemistry with the rest of the team, right? So he doesn't really connect yet. But with Danny, I mean, Danny was finding Nelson easily, and then Nelson would give the ball back. It's like there were some plays, obviously, that weren't finished, right? But the start of the play, the idea of the play was actually something that can grow definitely for the plan, for the offensive plan.
No, that just kind of made me think, like, it's so crazy how when you're in the field and you're passing the ball around with some new people that you don't know, and you kind of vibe with them and with the touches and with the pass, you're like, hey, what's up? What's going on here? What's my bro right here? You my bro.
and it's true. and it's definitely true at any level of football. When you join a new team, you don't know your teammates.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know if this guy likes it at his feet. You know if he likes it into space. These are things that you work on in preseason 100%. And where are we at right now?
You don't know if they're pacey. If they're not pacey, you don't know if they, it's just...
And some of these players know a little bit about each other, but they don't have full resumes on them when they come in. Sometimes they rely on pages that cover Austin FC to, kind of look at the captions and see what their record was with the next team. That's why pages like this and also the ones in our Austin FC community are very important to, everything that is Austin FC. But I like Jaden Nelson. Potential there, positives to build on, but the goals need to come as well. Just wait for the rest of his teammates to arrive, like Facundo, Mirtusuni, and Brandon Vasquez. Literally, those 3 guys are expected to bring the goals. They didn't play for Austin FC, and they haven't played for Austin FC yet. But Jorge Alastoy, I know I'm trying to get to all these names. This is just the first half lineup, but we're getting through there. Jorge Alastoy, mate, it is important to bring him up. And we already talked about Joseph. There's some players that don't really need segments after today, but Jorge Alastoy does, because Coach Nico said something about him in the media zone where he said there's 3 games left to decide what we're going to do with Jorge Alastoy. And what are those 3 games that are coming up? It's a Coachella Valley Invitational. You have St. Louis, which is on the 7th. You have Chicago, which is on the 11th. And I believe the last game up there is SKC on the 14th of February, if I'm not mistaken, on Valentine's. The kit will be released while they're up there at Coachella, something to keep an eye on for sure. But Jorge Alastoy, he's a player that was in FCito, had a great season with them, carried them to whatever success they had this year. They fell just short of the playoffs, but it doesn't mean that they weren't a good team. They had good spells. They had bad spells, ups and downs. That's what a season is. But I was very impressed with Alastoy, and everybody in here knows that I was every Friday at Palmer Field watching Austin FC too. Moises and I, we sat next to each other. Sometimes him and I would think that we were going crazy because of the credit that we gave Jorge Alastoy. And let me tell you, it feels great to finally see a lot of Austin FC fans come around and start asking the question, should Austin sign Alastoy to a first-team contract? He's an international player. You need that international roster spot. But based on the recent press release with Jader Obrian's contract buyout, we now know that Austin FC has 2 of those roster spots. Would you give one to Jorge Alastoy right now, or do you want to see what these 3 games have?
I want to see what the 3 games have, but I have a good feeling about it, because it's not only that coach said, yeah, let's see what he does in these 3 games, is that he being from FCito, today played the first half and a lot of the second half. Yeah. A lot of the FCito kids just play, a little bit of the second half.
Oh, he's getting a shot.
He got 60. A shot.
He played 60.
And not only that, but as the offensive center midfielder, right? As a cam. So he's getting, his opportunity right now. Yeah. And I feel like what we saw obviously wasn't a polished result product, right? I think he has rooms for improvement. But I feel like he's right there in that line of, if he really
He's got 3 games. If he really
does, like, if he really chooses to for these 3 games to be the games of his career,
basically is what it's.
I think he can make it. I really think he can make it.
Yeah, no,
But then
it's
you look
literally
at
3 games of his career, bro.
Yeah.
I like
But then
the way you put
let
that.
me play devil's advocate here and let me look at the other side. It's like, okay, so those international spots, sometimes it's those are things like wouldn't, I guess, without science hard, wouldn't we want to try to bring international talent to the club instead of not what it's like?
Now, there's another scenario that I want to throw in there.
Okay.
Because you're playing devil's advocate. I'm going to play devil's advocate to the devil's advocate.
Okay.
You give him a green card and that solves that international issue.
Well, then.
And I've heard rumors that it's in the process.
Okay.
I've heard rumors. I don't know.
Because look, at least
they're
to
not
me,
concrete.
We know how these
rumors.
rules are. I mean, both of y'all know exactly what the vibe is. To me, international spots, I think it'd be weird seeing them. I mean, look, I don't know.
Well, Jorge is from Spain, so you need one on him.
Yeah, but I'm saying is like, okay, if we're gonna use a slot, why don't we just go into the market and get an international player?
But if one of those players has been playing for Austin FC too, and he's right underneath your nose, you gotta know what you
I'm playing
got.
devil's advocate here.
I know.
No, but what I would say is, like, I mean, if you think about bringing someone else internationally, right? Then you also have to start thinking about salary, about GAM again. And we know Austin is on the very lower end of GAM available, right? With Jorge, if he's good enough to be, on the bench this season and help you out and every now and then, you can sign him on a supplemental, for instance.
Yeah, that's what Phil West asked Coach Nico. He
Yeah.
said, are you planning on giving him that supplemental?
We're hoping he's good enough to be the bench, and so we don't have to go and seek out an international talent and have to deal with these MLS restrictions, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and not only that, but his position is also valuable.
Yeah.
Because you have someone from the academy like Ervin Torres, but he's not a cam. He's an 8, right? And then how many and even not only on FCito but on the senior roster, how many offensive midfielders do we have? Yeah. Right, it's not many. So having a backup that could solve you a problem. No, I'm not saying like to be the star right away, but to solve you a problem every now and then. And be on a supplemental.
But to also say that Jorge Alastoy, he's from Austin FC 2. He's coming from Austin FC 2. He's had a spell with them. He plays in the next pro level. Yes, he's trying himself with the first team. But Alastoy's story started in Europe. He came out of La Masia. Whoa. He came out of La Masia. He's had spells through, I believe there's a couple of teams in Italy. Maybe you can respond back and say, well, okay, why didn't they sign him? I don't know. What I do know is that he's at the doorstep of Austin FC. He has the 3 games of his life, and Coach Nico said it himself. You got 3 games to impress us, and we'll decide what we want to do with you after the Coachella Valley Invitational. So he had 10 goals and 5 assists in 24 games for Austin FC 2
that
last
might be
year.
the most important thing out of this whole game.
Literally, that's literally not even gonna lie. But his goal against Louisville, which is the only goal, which is the only goal of the preseason, it was a great goal and assist from Jaden Nelson, that deadly pass I was talking about earlier. And if you look at his goal catalog with Austin FC 2, he has some bangers, brother. Jorge Alastoy.
He had a shot on goal today. It was just straight to the keeper, easy to catch. But I mean, and it was a long shot from out of the box, I think. So
he has talent, but the question is, does he have enough to jump to make that leap?
And we'll have to keep an eye out.
I have to keep an eye out. Definitely something to keep an eye out. 100%, mate. Now, of course, Robert Taylor was also in there. We talked about Joseph Rosales. CJ didn't really get much service. Couldn't really do much out there or whatnot.
We can say about CJ that he's more physical.
What was he? May I ask? What was he playing? He was
the 9.
Striker.
He was the 9.
Maybe.
So that's by this. I mean, that's gonna be his. It seems like his role, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Huh?
I mean, we can't say much about CJ besides the fact that he's using his height and physicality, which is good.
I saw him fighting for a bunch of headers.
Yeah.
You're right. Now, in the second half, we saw same goalie, Brad Stuver, John Gallagher, Brandon Heinzike, Guilherme Biru. He came in. Of course, he was filling in that center back position. Joseph Rosales stayed on the field. Multiple positions played by Joseph Rosales today. Jon Komanic comes in at the left back position. Elias Sanchez, leader, veteran. Elias Sanchez from Catalunya slots into the midfield along with Bersard Salovic. Jaden Nelson stayed on for the second half. Jorge Alastoy stayed on. We just talked about his 60 minutes that he played. And CJ Fodry also stayed on. I mean, there's not that many options you can put out there for the 9 right now. So, Austin has to rely on CJ for this preseason. But overall, I think this was a very strong group that went out there. Technically, they kept a clean sheet in the second half if you want to break the game into parts.
Yeah.
We also saw Damian Loss come onto the field as well. He also kept his clean sheet. I saw some folks on the Discord chat talking about that. Riley Thomas got his minutes as well. I want to spend a little bit on 4 substitutions that were made at the very end. You guys know me. I'm a big vocal for the academy. I've been saying for the longest time that we need that pipeline. Where is that pipeline? I'm seeing glimpses of things that can happen, mate. Vlad came on, international player. He's from out of the country, overseas. But Chuy Moreno comes in. Irvin Torres was already on the field at that point. Micah Burton comes in. You know his story. Mo Badawiya comes in also. Maybe a lot of folks don't know his name, but he's been coming up from the bottom. And they played well. Yeah. They played pretty good. I know there's 4 youngsters. You know, B always likes to say they're probably not going to get any first team minutes. I get it. I hear it. But I saw some good things from these youngsters when they came in. I mean, damn near Chuy Moreno comes in 30 seconds later, almost busts his nose for the badge. This is a preseason game, and he's the youngsters putting his body on the line. Those are things you want to see from these youngsters.
As you should.
You know, and what I like is that they were hungry. The youngsters have been doing a good preseason so far. And I'm very excited to see what they now roll into FCito and do with that. Because the reality is that they're not all going to get first team minutes. Yeah. You're going back with us in FC2 for a little bit. But I liked what I saw when these boys came in.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, younger players usually are more of like rebels, I guess. And it was like already the 90th minute. They added 2, and obviously we were 2 down. There was nothing else you could do. But these kids, they started to take like a couple of long shots, and they were barely going above the goal, right? So it's like, hey, I like that you're at least you want to do whatever you can, and then you just shoot that ball to the closest you can to the goal. And I mean, it's fire that you like to see.
You see the tiers, you see the levels.
Yeah.
You see the
Now, we gave the update on Jorge Alastue. We'll wait at the end of the Coachella Valley to see what the final decision on him is. Mateja had a fever. Alex mentioned that earlier. That was confirmed by Coach Nico. Facundo Torres, I know a lot of folks wanted to see him today. The reality is that Coach said that he was still carrying that knock. You mentioned that as well from Palmeiras. But Coach Nico said that Facundo Torres is a player that they can use at the 10. I know there's been a lot of fans out there, especially in the chat, where they've said, hey, when are we going to get that 10? And some folks have even came out and said, yo, are we obsessed with the number 10 for Austin FC? Well, Coach Nico saying that Facundo Torres is a player that they can very much use at that number 10 position. And then we find out that Owen Wolf, Coach Nico says that the plan is for the second week of Coachella to start introducing him to drills that will lead him to the week before Minnesota to begin training with the group. And he said that he's still on the timeline that they predicted, that they expect. And Coach Nico told us before that Owen will maybe get some minutes off the bench versus Minnesota. Mm-hmm. That's what they're probably eyeing, what they're thinking of. But those are kind of all the updates that maybe should stand out for Austin FC fans.
I mean, and also to be clear, like we know Mirto Zuni is also coming, he has an injury, and Facundo Torres as well from Palmeiras. But they are both training. Mm-hmm. They are both already doing drills. Maybe I don't know if completely separate from the group, but they are both training. So it's just like a matter of being 100% ready to start playing in these friendlies. Coach Nico did say that he believes Facundo and Mirto will be available for next game, right?
That's what Coach Nico was saying. Also, when I asked him about the Usuni update a couple weeks back, he said that they were looking for him to be ready for the first week of Coachella.
Exactly. So what we didn't see today, we will likely be able to see next game with Facundo ready, or at least taking part fully with the team, and then Mirto as well.
Wasn't there a little update on Brandon Vasquez as well?
Oh,
didn't he say that he'll be back maybe weeks? But Brandon Vasquez, he's on the right track. Yeah. I actually got to see him at the stadium today. Fist bumped him. He was with his family, and it was just like hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Oh, cool. See you later. It's just that. But he was there. Everybody was there, and it was a good time. It was a good time, and the result didn't favor Austin FC, but like I mentioned, there's some positives to build off of. The youngsters, good job, and now it's time to focus on the Coachella Valley Invitational. I mean, the 2 goals that were conceded were in transition. You did mention that. Obviously, something to work on for Austin FC. Johnny G. Maybe a little bit too much to do on that right-hand side. You definitely need some help or whatnot. But these are things to work on. These are things to, tweak before you get to the big show, which is match day 1 against Minnesota.
And I'm not worried because if we know anything, is that Nico really focuses on the defense. So he's really gonna fix that defensive transition problem.
Be step number one.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. So that was the New York City FC game against Austin FC. You know, there are probably some things that maybe we didn't bring up, but I think that's generally the most important things. I think you were right when you said Jorge Alaste was kind of the biggest talking point leaving this game. I think that was a bombshell that Coach Nico dropped. Yeah. I've never heard him say anything as serious as that. We got 3 games left to decide on him.
He's telling him something.
Yeah.
He's putting it on him.
Yeah.
Hey. If you think this is your shot, I'm telling you it is.
But that also means they want him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that also means, hey, we want you to do well for us to bet on you.
And I'm sure he's talking. They're talking behind.
Yeah.
And last year at the Parma Field, an FCito game, I asked a high-ranking individual in the organization. I said, "Hey, Alaste, ¿cuándo? When are you gonna bring?" Oh, they told me it was soon. Soon. Okay. Is this soon? Is this the moment? It's 3 games. Dang. 3 games of his life. And you can tell Alaste wants Austin FC.
Yeah.
I think he wants to be here.
Yeah, no, he does.
He wants to be here. But alrighty. Before we go on, Primo, you were there, mate. Anything you want to add on before we switch topics?
No, I mean, I enjoyed it as a fan. I was with Bali.
What'd you sit?
And I sat in like 3 different spots.
You just went all around.
It was so many empty seats. So like the first time around, we were at the very bottom of the north end. Really good view. And then second half, we went more towards like the halfway line, and we were sitting with Rigo. Okay. And it was good. It was good.
Murga out there?
Murga was out there. You know, it wasn't super packed.
Somebody said they were concerned with the amount of Murga members that went. They said that the fans didn't show up today.
Oh, really?
Somebody tweeted that. Somebody tweeted that.
I gotta say, I was surprised. Yeah, it was, but more like the band members, like the actual people that play the instruments, right? Mm-hmm. I thought it would be more. Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna say it was the cold.
It's preseason, brother.
I'm gonna say it was the cold.
It's chilly.
It's chilly. But anything else, Primo?
No, I mean I got some good views of Joseph. For sure, man, he was balling out. I think he was doing really good at that left back position.
Scott told us that Joseph Rosales, he's one of those players that you absolutely hate unless he's on your team.
Oh, yes.
I like that. So, I like that. Like
really
Cucurella también. Yeah, everybody hates him, bro. I love that he's on my team.
No, but yeah, I'm with Primo. Rosales looks good. I think he's definitely going to do great things for Austin FC, mate. So that was a game, like we said. Now, there are some other little bits of Austin FC news that we're just going to touch up on real quick. Alexander Svatok obtains a green card. You didn't get to see him today. Yeah. Coach Nico gave us an explanation on that. But the news is that Austin FC announced Alexander Svatok has obtained a green card and will no longer occupy an international spot on the roster. Like I mentioned earlier on the podcast, the press release also had in there that there's 2 open international roster spots. Maybe Austin FC uses them, or we've seen the club sell them to increase that level of gamble. We know that Rodo is no stranger to that process. And also just wanted to throw out that Coach Nico did first hint at this in the first media availability, January 12th, if I'm not mistaken. Both you and I and Diego were there. And Coach Nico sticking to his word, sticking to the process, sticking to his word. And some people were worried. Where's Svatok? Are we going to sell him? Is Austin FC going to transfer him? He was somewhere like, where was he? He was in the, bro. He was in an island looking great. He was just chilling. And there was a little bit of concern from some fans until, it was confirmed that it was all said and done and he's back in Austin.
Something real quick, something that Nico said that I really liked. He said, we played the players, players were tired from the previous preseason matches, and we played them tired on purpose because we want them to start playing and training their mind more than their bodies.
If I'm not mistaken, he mentioned that last year as well, that he was gonna train some of them tired.
Yeah.
It
was like kind of like I want them to be tired and to play well while tired. Yeah. So it's like, okay,
that's how you sharpen
down.
the mind.
Yeah, I'm down. I like that.
Doing some pep studying, I think. I don't know, but yeah,
that's
great. That's great answer.
There is an overdoing as well. Yeah, you could overdo it as well.
Just ask, what was that Chelsea manager? Conte.
No, Conte. Yeah, I was just about to say that, yeah.
So there was also another piece of information that Jader Obrian was bought out of his contract with Austin FC. He is no longer an Austin FC player. One thing that's very important to note is that his salary will not count against the 2026 budget. He made 71 appearances for the club. He scored 8 goals, picked up 3 assists. At his peak, he was the 2024 Offensive Player of the Year. And we just got to throw out there that he did not present himself for preseason, didn't bother to show up. And he's been flirting with Deportivo Cali for a very long time. I don't know why the media.
He's aggressively flirting.
I don't know why the media. I don't know why the media down there is trying to pretend that this is not ongoing, but
Yeah,
it's
it's-
very clear.
He wants to go there.
But at the same time, it's been already like several days,
Yeah.
and he hasn't signed for them.
Yeah.
There's like something weird's going on.
But at the same
Well,
time,
it's like he obviously wants to come here. Let's just get as low as we can. How can we? He wants to be here.
but also at the same time, would you have a lot of urgency if you're Jader when you're gonna get paid? You got your contract bought
Yeah,
out.
that's true.
You're gonna get paid, and if I'm not mistaken, based on whoever he signs with next, there can be some kind of negotiation to see if there can be
They can pay some
if
of the,
Austin
Yeah.
can stop the payments and they can just live happily ever after. Hopefully that relationship is there where Jader Obrian will say,
How
okay,
could-
that's fine.
What kind of relationship is that? You're telling me to give up some money, bro?
I don't know,
You
brother.
know what I mean? Like you want me to just relinquish my check? You owe me money, bro.
But
Like,
I've heard mumblings of like, oh, well, Zardis is still technically getting paid. Oh, Rigoni is still
exactly.
technically
It's-
getting paid.
that's a different
Tadic is
game
still
right there,
technically
bro.
getting
Yeah.
paid.
But on the dropout, buyouts.
The buyout.
How many buyouts have we've gotten?
You get 2.
No, I'm saying, but how many have we? How
I
many?
think-
Who can you list our buyouts?
Yes. Tadic, Rigoni, Jazzy Zardis, Jader Obrian.
We bought out Sardis?
No,
We bought out Zardis.
I don't think we bought out.
We bought out
Zardis.
Zardis. We bought out Zardis. 100%. We bought out Zardis.
So the reason why I brought that up is because I'm willing to say I think I didn't know we
think
bought out
Primo's searching it up.
Zardis, yeah. But out of all the buyouts, I think he's been our best buyout, brother. Like
Jader's?
I think so.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Okay.
agree.
I was
I
wondering
agree.
where you.
I agree.
You mean
Yeah.
you mean best as a player or
As like if you line up our buyouts, I think he's the best. I mean, buyouts is essentially like, hey, it's like
It was the smartest buyout we've done.
no.
no,
No?
not the smartest. That's the,
Not- oh, am I using a different
What
term?
I'm saying is, if you list the buyouts that we have,
Yeah.
he I think is our best player in that
Oh.
list.
Okay, best
is what I'm
player.
saying.
Oh.
Yes.
Because I was gonna say
Because
like
there's-
Rigoni's buyout was
Bro.
infinitely
Yes.
like necessary.
Yes, it was. That's the biggest one, and also Tadic was like Tadic was horrendous.
But
Yeah,
but
but he wasn't paid much. He's like
but I like this buyout in particular because Austin needed the position. They needed the international spot to bring guys in. That's why they
Yeah.
had to get rid of him.
the reason I say
Yeah.
that is because I just wanted to pose that thought because
Yeah, I see.
whether you like it, I know there's Jader is hated, like not this very disliked within the fan base, right?
Some people liked him.
Yeah.
It's mostly get out, and I get it, right? But I think he had a good spell with us. I think he had a good.
No, I mean,
He
moment.
had a peak. He had a peak.
for the moment that we were in,
Yes.
he was good.
Yes.
And when we extended him was because we needed him. Now, Rodo fixed the roster here and there. He brought new players.
Is this-
It made sense that now the Jader wasn't necessary.
Is this a hot take? I think he was more. It might be. I think he was. I don't want to
Than
say it because that's
Rigoni?
how hot it is. That's how hot it is. I'm not gonna say it, bro. next.
Nah.
All right. But yeah, I like I said earlier, I really like this buyout because Austin FC needed to do it, and they eventually did, obviously.
Yeah.
And there was other ones like the Rigoni one that made sense because of the clause in his contract. If he played one more game, he
Yeah.
was going to get re-triggered as a DP. Ridiculous. Buy that out, 100%.
And paid millions for
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I see that. But best of luck to Jader. Hopefully he does go on to Deportivo Cali. That's his boyhood club, but they kind of closed the door on him a little bit or whatnot. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. What we know is that he's no longer an Austin FC player. His wages won't count for the 2026 budget. And I think that's very important moving forward. Another thing to mention real quick, we debunked the Joseph Rosales rumor to West Brom.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where this came from.
That make no sense.
Don't know where this came from, but the Honduran media absolutely got it and ran with it.
Of course, they're like Honduran player Premier League or
Yeah.
they're in the championship, right?
But there was no chain of thought in this rumor, brother. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but there was no chain of thought, logical thought process.
Yeah.
Because, You know, and I'm not gonna lie, for like 5 minutes, I was like, is this really happening? There's no way. There's no way. But why would Austin FC loan out a player that they just bought to a team in the Premier League? I mean,
Championship.
Championship. I'm sorry. Thank you. It just didn't
Let
make
me
sense.
check that too, because
They invested so much in this player. Why would they let him go on a loan?
yeah.
It just didn't make sense. And we debunked it. Sources, We're Austin TV, sources let us know. We obviously did some investigating on our end, and we were able to conclude that it is false. 100%.
Man, they're fighting.
No links.
They're fighting relegation in the championship, brother.
No links at all.
Bro,
It
that
is
was-
false 100%.
It was
Don't know
on
where
the
it came from.
BBC, bro.
It was on the BBC,
It was on the
brother.
BBC.
It was on the BBC.
What? That's absolutely insane, bro. It made it onto the BBC. That's crazy.
No, they're fighting. They're fighting to stay in the championship.
That's
They
crazy.
need them.
But the reason why people clinged onto this is because their manager used to be his coach at Minnesota, Ramsey.
Also,
That Ramsey was asking for him, apparently.
when this hits a country where Honduras is a great soccer country, but it's not really.
It's not a superpower.
It's not a superpower in the global
Yeah.
sense. So whenever there's a player from your country that is even talked about crazy in the Premier League or anything, you're gonna be like, let's blow that up.
and I told one of the accounts. There's 3 big accounts that we follow right now. It's Legion Catracha, Honduras Football TV, and I think like Honduras Centro Football, something like that. But I told one of them, I was like, hey, like I understand you want to see a player from Honduras go to the championship, go to the Premier League, but it's not happening. It's not gonna happen. It doesn't make sense. And I feel a little bad, but somebody has to be the bad guy. It's false.
I mean, it's not happening because of the situation, not because of Honduras player.
Side note:
100%.
When Ipswich got promoted to the Premier League, their squad was so their squad was the first Cuban to play in the Premier League, the first this country to play in the Premier League, the
Diverse.
first they had a Honduran player, it was just maybe that's how you got to go to the championship. And
That's a good business model. I don't know. Do it like the Oakland Athletics, the Moneyball approach.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of like all the little quick news. Of course, we had the Facundo Torres presentation with Rodo Borrell. Alex, you and Diego were there. Phenomenal questions. You got every time that We're Austin TV gets the first question in such an important pressure like this, I get butterflies, I get goosebumps, and it's kind of a good transition into the next segment that we're going to get into here right now about our times with Austin FC. But what a long way that we've came, from not being in those rooms to now being in those rooms, and not just being in there, but getting the first question and getting a great answer and getting a respectful answer.
great questions, not just a question. Great question.
Yeah.
But
everybody knows what happened in that presentation. Rodo said that he brought Facundo because he's a player who clearly has a clear record within our league. Our league is much more difficult than people realize. Facundo, you asked him, what are the differences of that Facundo that was in Orlando, went to Palmeiras, had his spell in Palmeiras, comes back. What are the differences between that player? He says that he's coming here with more experience. He wants to grow with Austin. And even Facundo, in a good MLS Español little content reel that they did, they asked him, what is Austin FC? He said, hope, esperanza. I thought that was a really good answer. And then Facundo Torres, from his presentation, another quote, this is from the question that Diego had from him. He asked him about his position. Facundo says that he's more comfortable on the right, a bit more free in the middle, behind the number 9, but I've also played a lot on the left. So that presser is up. If you would like to go check it out, Facundo Torres' presentation with Rodo Borrell. We also got confirmation that Rodo Borrell is planning a press conference in about 2-3 weeks. We will notify you when that is going to happen, but expect to hear from Rodo Borrell here soon. You want to add anything to that?
No, I mean, I think it's great that Rodo already said, I'm gonna be answering questions, and I think honestly, I get the feeling that Rodo is very willing to talk about squad planning, GAM, everything, all of the processes and problems maybe that come into signing a player like this, and I think it's important for a lot of fans to. I know a regular soccer fan doesn't need to know all of the MLS rules because they are ridiculously crazy and make no sense. But if you follow Austin FC, if you want to come to the stadium and watch the team play, you kind of need to know a little bit of how you can build a roster in this league to understand why maybe we're not signing, Son, right? So and the answers, the best guy that can give you those answers is going to be Rodo. So listening to whatever role is going to answer in that press conference is going to be really important.
And he always shows face. Like he's never if he's something to talk about, he'll show his face. Like
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, I will agree with some people say, hey, but Rolo only talked to the media like once last season.
It was it once?
Yeah, I think so. It was, yeah.
Beginning of the year,
No, because he did the Brandon Vasquez presentation.
No,
He
but I
did a
mean,
solo
but I mean a
one.
press conference like this, like to just pick him and the media, not on the Brandon Vasquez presentation.
He did one when he fired Wolf.
Yeah, he did. He did
Yeah.
do one when he
Yeah,
fired
yeah,
Wolves.
yeah. Yeah, but that was 2024.
2024.
That's what I mean. He's only like doing, or at least last season he only did once. And it's like I understand. I would also agree that seeing him twice or maybe 3 times throughout the season would be nice.
Maybe once after every
Saw him.
window closes.
He did one. He did
Once
one
after every window.
He did one when Drusy didn't show up to the.
No,
preseason.
but he didn't really do it. He
I
just
know.
came out to like say, "Hey, he's not showing up." That's it.
Okay,
Right.
you were
I'm
there.
just, I'm
Yeah,
just
I
trying
was
to
there.
recite all the times, but yeah.
Yeah.
But all righty, now, of course, we're looking forward to the Coachella Valley Invitational. That's going to be rolling around. We got a lot of good things coming up this year. Got a lot of good content. Got a lot of great individuals that are going to be working with us. We're losing one of the best on the roster. Austin wasn't the only one to lose a DP this year. But there are some really good individuals that make a great collective. And we now have a standard. I keep saying that. We now have a standard. It can't be any less. We got to continue to get better. So I want to transition into the, in the next segment we're going to do, spend a couple minutes on this. Episode 300, we said it at the beginning of the pod. If you're still with us, we're going to talk a little bit about what we lived covering Austin FC, the years that we spent together. And yeah, I just kind of want to get into that here a little bit. Maybe it's going to be a little bit more of a flow conversation, a little bit more of maybe some of you are accustomed to us to have this tone on a Patreon podcast. But we'll do one here for today. Now, I guess we can take it all the way back, mate, when we first kind of met. It was on social media. It was on Spaces. I didn't even know what you looked like. We had a face reveal. You remember?
Yeah.
And I remember we would do the Spaces, and you would get on. And I remember the first time I heard you give your take, I was like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking
The
about.
accent, brother. I was like, dang.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, this dude, I was like, I guess we got like a regular for the Spaces. Then you came on, you gave your take, but we all knew you were outside the country, so and you had the football critic, that was what the people first knew you as, and then I forget how it was that you came over here. You got to Austin, and we were like, hey, football critics coming to Austin, and then I think you sent us like not a selfie. Like but I think it was like for a credential or something, or maybe you changed your avi, but we got a face reveal. And I remember we were like, hey, this is what Alex looks like. This is football critic.
But that was because you invited me to be on pod over Skype with Primo.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that was the first time
That's the first like real memory. Like it was when we had you on the Skype pod. Yeah, I remember.
Because I was still in Colombia. I was still living. That was 2022.
Yeah.
No, 2020. Yeah,
2022.
Yeah, and that was just my first the invite that you guys were like, hey, you want to come in? It was like, bro, we're Austin TV's invited me to their podcast. It's like, wow, what's going on? I was like, yeah, for sure, I want to go there. I want to be in the pod, and it was all over Skype, and it was the very first time we actually saw each other's faces.
And I remember, back in the day, we didn't have the footage in the club that we have right now. And back then we were just trying to do as much as we could. We did the Spaces, we did all the coverage online, all the tweets, Instagram posts, but we never had somebody in the press box. We never had somebody at that point. I didn't think we had somebody fit for the box, somebody like worthy for the box, somebody that had the look for the box. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the boys think that I would suit that role. But even within me, I was like, no, I'm not ready for that. But then whenever we found out that you were coming over here and we started making plans or whatnot, and I think it was like a glove in a hand. You know what I'm saying? I think when you got here, whenever we realized like, you spoke multiple languages, like
You blew us away, brother.
the way that you carried yourself, obviously, it just, it was a no-brainer to send you. And I would always have these conversations at home, and I would say, you know, like, hey, you know, like, of course I want to be in the box. Like, of course I want to be up there looking at the stadium from that beautiful view that the Austin FC press box possesses.
Number 89.
89 was
State
the
of the Team featuring special guest football critic.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
89. Wow.
Episode 89, brother.
And I always said, I was like, but no, like Alex is the one. He's the one that's gonna, you know,
H
do
was
good.
like the Lego meme. Tonight.
Literally, I was like that Lego meme, bro. And as we were walking for the last time into the press box today, I told you, I was like, remember when we would just be up here hanging out? Well, you would be up there just hanging out, you know, like the club didn't really allow us the access of the conferences. But they wanted to see, I think they wanted to see how we would react, how we would act,
definitely.
how we would, you know, be in these situations. And I think we did good. Look at where we're at today. But that wouldn't happen without you, mate. So, I mean, I kind of want to ask you, you know, just overall, what are you taking away from this experience? And just, I don't know, walk us through your time with Austin FC.
No, man. I mean, look, to me, everything. This is unbelievable. This is beyond a movie. You know, this is, I mean, I've always been just a regular, normal, average soccer fan, you know? A person that watches a game with his dad, his brothers, you know, whatever in the TV, you know, Champions League, whatever. I'm a regular, normal guy.
Madrid fan.
No,
That's a dark past.
Is what I heard.
That's
I don't know. Supposedly. I don't know.
That's history. But yeah, so it's, just a regular guy, bro. And then to find yourself one day asking questions to a professional coach, to professional players. One day waking up, covering Copa America and having Messi right here in front of me.
Your home country.
My home country, bro. The players that I saw and that would make me want to cry, you know, and my heroes in the sport. I wasn't just watching them through a screen. I had them in front of me and asking them questions. You know what I mean? It's something that I think, like I go back and think about all that. It's unreal to me.
I think you left out one of the biggest things that's happened to you here. You met Florentino Perez
Yeah,
at Q2
that too,
Stadium.
yeah.
I mean, an unreal timeline
That's
that
the
you
thing.
had
It's
here
like
in Austin.
it's like to me, and I still am just a regular soccer fan. But thanks to Washington TV, thanks to all of you guys, I've lived so many ridiculous things in 2 years.
And it's just like the perfect storm of situations to like
Yes.
to blend this.
And that's
you know
the
what I
thing,
mean?
like talking about Florentino, like so many, you know, people get media credentials, right? Like journalists and whatever.
Yeah.
Not all of them met Florentino.
Yeah.
It was just
was chance.
It was chance that
they're early,
I got
bro.
into the elevator right when he was coming up, and we went to the same flight. Like it was just chance that I met Florentino, and I was there with my credential because of Washington TV.
You met one of the biggest names in the sport history.
Yes.
A guy that literally changed football, I
Football.
think. The business side.
I mean, as pinnacle as it gets, bro. You might as well have met Pelé or something. You know what I
did
mean?
you shake
It's
his hand?
different.
Yeah, I did.
So when
I
you
shouldn't
shook his
have done
hand, whenever you shook his hand, you shook the hand of Madrid history.
yeah.
You shook the hand of so many players, Figo.
Which hand was it? Which hand was it?
It was the right.
Yeah, it was
obviously.
right.
The
Yeah.
right one, obviously.
Yeah.
Come on, what are you gonna do?
Imagine.
the left one? You going for the wrong one.
All right, I'm a chill.
No, okay, but I guess let's get into a little bit of you know, kind of maybe some downtimes that you had. You know, was there any battles that maybe you never talked about? Like, is there any was there any? Let me ask this: was there ever a moment where you're all like, "I'm done, I'm done"?
I don't think there was never a moment where I said I'm done, but mostly because out of respect for Washington TV. You know, like I understand obviously like I'm not chained to Washington TV, right? But it's like I know like Washington TV has given me so much, and I lived so many crazy experiences through Washington TV that I knew I had a responsibility. I knew I had to like pay you guys back for everything that you've given me, right? So it was like it doesn't matter. Like obviously, not soccer related. I have had some downs in my life and during these past years, but it didn't matter that I was down. I had a responsibility with Varsity TV, with the fans that were expecting the content, with, like I had to go on to watch game. There were moments that Austin FC was playing, obviously horrible, no wins.
Yeah.
It was dreadful.
No shots.
There were times where it was dreadful to go and watch games. But I would do it just because I had to, because it was my responsibility with Austin TV.
Do you feel like the support and love that you've gotten the last 2 weeks from the people in the club and the players, do you feel like, how am I trying to frame this? Like, do you feel like you earned it, or do you almost feel like, man, like this happened so quick? Like, when did I acquire all these good relationships? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, I'm gonna try to put it into like what how I'm trying to frame it is, sometimes I remember in the past, I would feel like I didn't like deserve the platform of what I did, because we don't have any journalistic background. We don't have anything that that can get us into these rooms before creating our own table, our own little platform. You know what I'm saying? That got us noticed. So sometimes I was all like, damn, what am I doing with this? You know what I'm saying? Like, should this even be like under my control? You know what I'm saying? Like, should this be ours? But I feel like I wanted to ask you that, and like I've overcome that, because I tell myself, nah, we bust our behind to get the recognition and to get the connections that we have today. But there has been moments where I'm like, yo, like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did this come from? So have you been asking yourself that the past couple of weeks? Because people from out of like nowhere from the club have been coming out and just saying goodbye to you.
No, I mean, it's been mind blowing, all of the love and that I've received from fans, from other media members, from people in the club, like things that I've never thought. People that I mean, I don't know. It's just it's literally mind blowing how so many people just reached out and said, hey, we're gonna miss you. You were great. You were, I still can't believe it. And the way I look at it is, it's not like I didn't deserve it, but rather it's like I did everything that I did the way I was supposed to do it, the way I was taught to do it by my parents, just like, if you're gonna do something, you gotta do it right, and you gotta be a good person, and you gotta be professional. And so I feel like I never did anything beyond what I was supposed to do. Like, I wasn't, like desperately wanting to overdo anything. I just did the things that I needed to, the way I knew how to, in the correct way. And just by being a good person, just by being professional, just by having, manners and whatever, I guess without realizing it, people really came to like appreciate that type of work.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, we like you. Thank you for everything you've done. Your work didn't go unnoticed. And to me, it's just like, I only did what I had to do. Yeah. I didn't do anything extra. I didn't do. I just did what anyone is supposed to do in my shoes. And the care and love from people that I've gotten is just like a payment that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
It's like a reward that I didn't expect.
I have a question. You want to add anything to that?
No, I mean, it goes beyond, like you said, football. It's just like, I mean, that's beautiful. You said it. I mean, it's great. Personally, to me, Alex, is like when you came in, me and Age, everybody was just like, you came in. With you, it was just like, yes, it's possible. Like, yes, like it's almost like, of course. And then when we got the opportunity to do so in the manner in which we did it, I was like, oh, no way, it is possible. Like, it was like I said, a perfect storm as well. It was just online, everything, you in the city, and just being involved in everything, it just kind of came together. And it's been awesome.
It was a beautiful storm. It was a beautiful storm. So kind of just talking about those years that we were together, the years that we got to work together, I want to ask you, your favorite Austin FC player of your time here, and not because of their skill set, but because of, yes, put their skill set into this answer, but also maybe like
Meeting them too.
Meeting them, maybe like an interaction you had with them. Who has been your favorite player in the history of you following this team? And I mean, Austin's not that old.
I mean, just overall, there was one time I never forgot it because it was so easy to talk to. Julio Cascante. You know, it was regular after a game, after asking questions. We came out. We were leaving because I was with Gustavo from Hispanos ATX, and we were leaving. And we just saw Julio already, dressed up, ready to leave with his family outside of the Lexus Club. And we just hang out for a little bit, and we started talking to Julio. And man, Julio was so nice, so easy to talk to. So like, obviously, like in our position, you always talk to players, but from a media
Professional point of view.
Yes. So you don't get to talk to them about the weather, about family, and obviously they are trained to give you an answer. That time, since already it was the media time was over, we were just people chilling. We talked to Julio. I don't know, it was just so easy, and he was so respectful, and he was Julio was great to talk to, and then I gotta say. Well, there's a lot of nice players to talk to. They're polite, they're everything, but you can tell they're trained to talk to the media. But someone that I would say is also nice to hang around with is Danny, because Danny's also obviously he's in his own world, his own playing COD, whatever.
He's got his
Yeah, but Danny, he's also he comes from a good family and he has, good values. When we interviewed him here, right?
Yeah.
The behind the scenes, you can tell Danny's just a chill guy. He's down to talk soccer. He's down to talk whatever. So he's very friendly too. So I would say that Julio and Danny were the best to talk to.
That's good.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
What was the biggest game that you've been a part of to cover, whether it's all the cups that we've done?
That's a good question.
What game were you covering where at the end of the game you just wrapped up media, you're walking towards the mural, that you were like, wow, what a game. But what game do you think is the biggest that you've covered that left you like that? Because we've had we've gone to Copa America, Gold Cup. I mean, we've had so many.
So we're only talking Austin FC.
I mean, if you want to give me one Austin FC and then one international, you can. But overall.
Overall, I'm gonna say, I see it in two different ways.
Okay.
Because if we're talking about a big game, I'm going to say Argentina, Ecuador in Houston, Copa America.
That was a big game. I remember
that was a huge
I remember
game.
that. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a huge game.
I had never experienced Argentinian fans until that day, and when we did a general question.
Yeah.
Who do you think is gonna win the game? The guy was like, "Who do you think is gonna win the game?"
Bro, we could not interview them.
Yeah.
We were we asked you to come out of the
Oh
stadium.
yeah, I was in the press box, and you guys.
Yes, bro, we tried. I tried. H tried. It was just hey, would you like? It's the the vibe was the audacity of you to come into my face and talk to me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I was in the press box, and these
never
guys were
experienced
outside
that.
interviewing people, and then I got a call from H, and he's calling me. It's like, Alex, we need you down here because we're not vibing with these people.
Bro, but I tried to jump with
them.
them. I tried to get into it wasn't working, bro.
Happening, bro.
It wasn't happening.
They didn't want us there. It's just
No, they didn't want us. It was arrogance. They were they were there because they won that Copa. They won the Copa America.
But I think it's just also culture because when I went to interview them, I didn't really receive arrogance. I just knew how to approach them.
Yeah,
It's just a different way to talk to different
You hit it
people.
off. You did interview 2 or 3. Remember the guy that had the medal?
Yeah.
Remember the guy that had the medal, and then there was another guy that had the bucket hat. And they gave you good answers, but maybe it was the guys that we encountered. But the guy, honestly, I was like,
we
hey.
We also asked them questions
we asked
how does it feel to be playing only these clubs and then end up in this position or something? I forgot what we asked them.
I remember the main one was score prediction. Who do you think is going to win the game?
Oh, yeah.
They were like, really?
Bro,
of
and
course,
it went to
Argentina.
penalties.
Yeah,
and it went to penalties, bro.
They were arrogant. But
Okay,
I get it. I get it.
What about Austin FC now?
They're off of the World Cup.
Oh no, wait, I was gonna say because in that category, that was the biggest game, but because I think it was the semifinal,
Yeah, it was.
right?
It was.
So technically, that's semifinal of Copa America. That's huge. But then I would tell you,
Is it bigger than the final of the Gold Cup, though?
bro?
Is it though? I mean,
Bro.
what's a bigger game, bro? The
Dude,
final of the Gold Cup.
I'll tell you why I would put that over the Gold Cup, and it's because the Gold Cup final was only Mexico, bro. There were no USA.
Look, bro,
I mean, it was Mexican fans and age. That's right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean,
Fair enough. Fair point.
Vibe-wise, I will tell you like I don't know if vibe is the right word, but I mean the Colombia game, the Colombia-Paraguay game.
Win NRG, Houston?
Yeah, in Houston.
okay.
Bro, the vibes, I mean, the party, like Colombia, bro, Colombians know how to throw a party. Yeah. I mean, that game was wild, just because of the fans. For me personally, I would put over that the Venezuela game here, but because it's Venezuela, like I'm emotionally tied to that, and the game here was crazy.
Bro, I wanted to talk about that game just a little bit because till this day, that's the biggest, like, atmosphere at that stadium ever.
That's the thing,
to the point, like hands down. We were walking from down the street from where
metro
Hop is.
rail.
We were walking, bro. You could hear the eruption,
Yeah.
and then the party after the game was outside the stadiums. It's just like, but what about Austin FC though? Yeah,
Go ahead.
For me, Austin, I would say it's not nice, but for me would be the cup final.
The U.S. Open Cup?
Yes.
Final
Yeah,
loss.
that was
Because
special.
it would be that because I left pissed, bro. I was fuming because of the refs, because of the game, and obviously I have to contain myself to ask the questions, right? I can't be mad, I can't be emotional, but I'm still a fan. Like I was pissed after that game, but the entire thing, we dressed nicely because it was the final. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That title was on the line. We were sitting outside of the press box.
Biggest game in the history.
Bro, it was. Yeah, in Austin FC it was.
Yeah,
Honestly,
right.
it was.
Would you put that above the conference finals?
Yes, because that won't get you a trophy. So I mean, we lost it and we hated it, but that was the biggest game I've ever covered for Austin FC.
Okay, my question is, and I don't want to name, 'cause I don't want anything bad to happen, but
Oh, what kind of question you about to ask?
Damn.
did you ever have a negative interaction with any player from any national team or, any club team in MLS, either away or home? No names
Or rhyme the
at
name.
all.
Rhyme
But
it.
Was there any negative interaction with somebody?
Not really. I mean, the root players mostly just ignore you.
True.
Right? I mean, you want to, like just a question, whatever, and they just pass by, or they look at you in a mean way, and they just keep going like, it's just getting ignored. It's like, I don't care.
Nothing crazy though.
No, I don't think so.
No, you would have told us. You never told us anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have
Oh,
told
he's
us.
told. I mean, well, I don't know if you want to.
No, well, we've talked about that one in a Patreon pod.
Oh,
But-
okay.
But Alex wasn't there. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, bro?
I don't want to talk about it.
You
I'm
brought
good.
the question
No,
up.
I'm good. I'm good.
You want
I don't
you
know,
want
man.
some content?
I just wanted to know. That's good.
No,
That's good.
right now, I can't recall anything.
Okay. No,
From
that's
a
fair.
player.
That's fair. Let's see. Primo, you have any questions for Alex, mate?
None that come to mind. I mean, I'm just, saddened that you're leaving us, mate, for sure. But I don't know. I mean, maybe like one question. What was your like expectation coming into all of this, even before?
Dude, man, I had no expectations. It's like I'm saying, like you guys invited me to Worlds in TV. It's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna be on a pod talking soccer. then the door for the press box opened without asking questions, right? And then out of nowhere, H tells me, "Hey, I want you to be that guy." It's like, I have no idea what I'm like. That's a situation where I was like, what am I doing here? Like, dude, like I have no experience as a journalist. I hate it.
Story of We're Austin TV, bro.
Bro,
Story of We're Austin TV.
that's true. It's just like I in my life, I always hated being on camera. I hated completely being on camera. Ended up doing this, right? So it's like I was on the press box and looking around, with journalists, with the Austin FC staff, with everything, getting access to restricted areas. I was like, how did I get here? Like, what am I doing? So I had no expectations. And again, I just did what I had to do. I remember like being there and it was like, okay, since I'm not going to be able to ask questions, I can't just come here and watch the game and eat free food. Like I need to do something, right?
That's when the videos were born.
That's when the videos were born. And it's like, again, I hated making videos or being in videos, but it's like, I can't just come to the stadium for free. I need to do some work.
Yeah, I remember you told me you didn't, because we had the idea. I was like, hey, why don't you start making TikToks? And you're like, I don't like making TikToks.
Yeah,
I was like, all right,
yeah.
all right. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah,
But no, yeah, you're right. That gave birth to the pre-match videos. And
Is there a chance maybe we cover some games in Spain? Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
busy.
I don't know.
I know. Just the doors open. Maybe Bernabeu.
I mean,
Camp Nou?
maybe. I mean,
Managing
I would
Madrid?
I would be down to it, but it would be kind of weird since it's not Austin FC themed or I don't know. It's just like a one random game that we covered. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, that makes
like,
sense, yeah.
Imagine like out of nowhere, episode 350, and it's like
covering from the
Barcelona
field,
Levante.
baby.
It's like what?
Coming live from Levante.
So it's like,
is there something you regret? Is there maybe like a...
Hard age with the real questions,
Yeah.
brother.
Is there something that, regret can be different things. Regret can be something that I did wrong or something that I didn't do. But is there any regret in your mind, maybe something like a chance you didn't take or maybe a question you didn't ask? Is there anything that you leave on the table like, man, I could have done that or I should have done that?
I mean, questions that I never asked, sure, but that's like that's normal, I guess.
Yeah.
You always
When you were in front of Messi, you didn't like think about, man, I should have just jumped over that fence and just risked it.
Like, is that something you carry? Probably not, right?
I mean, I would have loved to have a personal question to Messi.
Yeah.
But I don't regret it. It's just because it was impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it was
The
meant.
picture we took was like off
Yeah,
off the
man.
ceiling. We
It
had
was
My
like
uncles thought that was me. I'm serious. Next time they saw me, they were like, "So you got to talk to Messi?" I was like, "Not necessarily."
That's the thing. I had to climb. I would have had to climb a mountain of people
Yeah.
over literally
Literally
crawl
a
over
mountain.
them to.
Yeah.
So
You were like this.
So
yeah.
you think the Austin FC is like tough with the elbows and stuff? Imagine that.
Yeah. It's just like no. So it's like it's not a regret because I know it would have been impossible, right? Messi only like recognizes the people that he often sees, like Argentinian media. So it's like but I mean I don't know, like questions, sure, but that's normal. I would tell you that sure, I would. There were moments where I regret not doing some things, but at the same time, it's just because I had no experience. It was impossible for me to like have the experience previously. So it's like
When you didn't have experience as a goalkeeper.
oh yeah, man, bro. Dude.
Oh, the media goalie
Oh,
wars.
that was horrible.
That was fun.
I loved it, but the actual participation was horrible.
Good times, bro.
All right, now I'm gonna ask you another serious one. We know you're a single guy. We know,
Yeah.
right? We know you're a single guy. We don't know everything about you. Is there a heart that you broke that's staying here in Austin? Did you break any like hearts while you were here?
Well,
Like you did,
Well,
Except for ours, bro.
maybe.
because mine is one. You know?
Well, like during this time here, yeah, but during, not because I'm leaving, but during, right?
Okay.
But nah, mostly. I mean, I let's put it in a way, because I somehow knew I wasn't gonna be here forever.
Smart.
I never
Smart.
like got deep, like settled roots. You know what I mean?
100%.
So
And you were too focused on WATV. There was no time.
Yeah,
there was no
that's
time
right,
for
yeah.
that. I'm asking all the real ones.
Real ones.
I'm
brother.
asking all the
Hell
real
yeah.
ones,
Don't
mate.
ask me none of that.
Was there ever a moment where you thought this guy's crazy? Talking about me.
oh hell yeah, bro! What?
Oh, what?
So many that I can't even say on pod.
Yeah.
Well, okay. What was the most out of context H moment? H out of context, because you and Diego like to throw that out. H out of context. What was the
got a
most out
list,
of
bro.
context? I believe you. What was the most
Nah,
out of
bro,
context?
if I say it, we're getting canceled.
Oh, whoa. Okay, yeah.
Hey, you're asking the real ones, bro.
Yeah.
You're
I
asking
think
the
I
real
walked
ones.
into that one. I walked into that one. So there were moments where you're like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, of course, man.
Okay. All right. Were there
I remember one time that it wasn't like you were crazy, but it was like I'm definitely different than these guys. It was when remember like coming back from one of the Copa America games from Houston. It was late at night, late at night, and you guys were blasting the rancheras and
Oh, yeah.
Well, remember when we were were coming back from Dallas. You and I, we were coming back from Dallas, the Frisco trip that we had.
Yeah.
We jammed the entire way back. That's the only way that I could stay awake. When I dropped you off, I almost dozed off twice.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I gotta keep the tunes up, bro. Dallas is far, bro.
Our Copa
It's
America,
4 hours.
our Copa America run was historic, bro.
Yeah, but it was
Historic, bro.
crazy.
We literally were on the road the
We
entire
were
weekend.
on the road. We
Yeah.
had to buy like emergency adapters and like we were
Yeah.
editing on the truck.
I kissed my
We had-
family goodbye. I'm only gonna see them for the
Bro,
weekend.
we went on the road and just like
Yeah, we were
Bro.
booking hotels on the road.
we had
booking
like a
hotels.
system. You would get the raw videos. I would cut it up.
Yeah,
We'd
yeah,
had like a
That was
we'd be
learning
out
on the
there.
go, bro. That was really
Walking around
learning
with
on the go.
We were at Buc-ee's parked eating brisket
Yeah.
sandwiches, trying to get the content. I was just
Whatever we turn into in the future, these are the moments where we're gonna think back. They were our like founding years. Like
Yeah.
these are the days that we walked. These are the days that we crawled so we can walk later in
Yeah.
the future. And we feel like we're walking right now. We feel like we're damn near running the game.
No,
But
I mean,
it wasn't always like this.
Just look at what you said. Like when the club opened the door for us, you said that you felt like you weren't ready. Now that I'm leaving, you're more than ready to do everything and more. You know, it's like Diego is also ready too. Like Diego is also a guy that should be thinking like, how the hell did I get here, right?
Yeah.
But he's doing it, and he's doing it in a good way. Like his work is good. So it's like all of this time is preparing you to keep on doing the work and even doing it even better. Yeah. So,
Yeah, man. I mean, anything else you want to add? to
nah, bro.
Alex,
It's
mate?
just
I
been
mean,
I mean, oh man, it sucks that you have to go, brother. But you know, I'm happy for you and everything that you've achieved outside of this. You know, with your career and everything. And I'm glad that I can call you a friend and everything. I mean, it's just I'm always gonna think back, like Ace said, bro. We've had some badass times together, and we've transcended levels with you.
I
and it's
think
just,
the only place you were there with us was the Western Conference Final.
oh yeah, 20.
Yeah.
As a Western Conference Final, you weren't there with us, but that was a fun time too. You remember when we
That's
pulled the
way
curtain?
weird. There's a vlog. out there.
Remember when
Yeah.
we pulled the curtain? I was like, "This is what success looks like, boys." That's an out of context moment.
Yeah, there's a vlog out there for it, but I mean, yeah, I
The
wish
most mid view.
it was like a parking lot, bro.
You can see the lights in the
Yeah.
distance. I wanted a clip.
Yeah,
I wanted
you
a
got
clip.
one.
I got a clip. I got a clip. But I guess, mate, just sign us off. You know, well, I'll say something real quick.
Are you gonna what time zone? Because you mentioned this already on Discord, but I forgot. So you won't be able, the Toronto game. You said you will be able to watch.
yeah.
But it's gonna be crazy, right? Because the games are at what time over there?
No, that's the thing. Like, so regular time here, right? 7:30
7:30
p.m.
p.m., yeah.
It's gonna be 2:30 in the morning for me.
Tough one.
So yeah, that's tough.
tough one.
But the Toronto game is at noon here.
Yeah.
So it'll be 7 p.m. for me over there.
perfect.
So like that's one that I can
And
watch.
Galaxy's at 1:30 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. So those
Okay,
games work for me. But
I'm gonna keep an
regular
eye on
games,
that. I know. Okay, this game's Alex gonna be watching, bro.
And well, for me, mate, I mean, I've already said a lot. You know, we had the original goodbye post. I wrote that caption. I meant it. We had a couple other moments too. I've said a couple things in the chat. But no, you know, actually, when I used to work at the bingo, I remember I had like a good group of friends, and then they all started to quit, and I stayed around. And I remember I started a new policy within me, and I said, I'm not gonna get close to anybody that I work with anymore because eventually we're gonna separate ways, and I don't want that. Like I don't want to go through that anymore. I remember that I literally told myself that, and so the rest of the people that came into that job when I was training everybody, I had no intention of making a friendship with them. I was like, I'm just gonna make you good enough to do the job, and after that, we're good here. And I had that policy, and then you came around, mate, and I kind of just threw it out the window. And I told you earlier, I was all like, well, not earlier, but I told you the other day when we were at Bolden Acres, and Diego was all like, thank you. But when I was all like, you were never Austin's. You were never ours. Like, you were just ours for a little bit of time. And, you spent time in Latin America. You spent your time here in Austin. You've been here in Austin before. I remember you told us that. Now you're going to Spain, literally Barcelona, one of the most beautiful cities in the history of the world. And I don't think that that's a coincidence. I think not only are you a football critic, you are a citizen of the world. And I think I think everybody is made for something in this life. And I think you are a traveling spirit. and you've gone to different places, and the time that you've spent with people, you genuinely have elevated, maybe not everything in their life, but you've elevated something in their life. Like for me, I can say you've elevated my my way of speaking, the way that I carry myself, how I conduct myself on social media, and obviously going into this new journey that I'm about to embark with Diego without you. I even said this to Aaron when we were having breakfast. I said, I wish I could bottle Alex into a little AI. And that way, if I ever have a question like, "Hey, what do you think about this tweet?" I could ask my Alex AI, and he'll be like, "Don't put that out, like you've done so many times." You know what I'm saying?
You might want to change that at the end.
You know, and you know, I have to now learn what would I'm gonna repeat to myself, what would Alex do? What would Alex say about this? How would Alex think about this? And like I said earlier, we have our standard, and obviously, you know, I have a daughter, and you know, I was hoping to, you know, kind of like you to, you know, see what she grew up. I was hoping to have you around for a long time to grow with us in TV. But like I said earlier, you know, you were never ours. You were a citizen of the world, and we had our time with you, and it was phenomenal. And now it's time to go somewhere else. But when she grows up, hopefully we're trying to go visit you when you're still out there. And I'm going to tell her, I was like, this is your uncle, because to me, bro, I see you in the ranks as like these guys, bro. They're like my brother from a different mother. And
family, brother.
One thing, bro, that was very special to me was when you would go to the media availabilities midweek. To me, that was the most respectful thing anybody has ever done for me. Because with those actions, you showed that you cared about what we have here. You cared about us, wait, what we're building here. And sorry, wait. But very few people in this world are going to care about you. And they don't have to care about you because they're living their own life. And that's okay. But the people that care about you, they're special. To me, you were that guy, bro. Take care, okay? We'll be here.
No, thanks, man. I mean, you're right that I'm a citizen of the world. I mean, throughout my life, because of very different situations, you know, my country being not in a great place, looking for a better future, and the U.S. not being an easy place to go to, it has had me moved around a lot. I lived in several places. And when I came to Austin, I always hoped to stay here forever. It was always my dream. But again, that's it's not something that is completely in my hands. Even if I were to be a doctor here, it was never safe that I was going to stay in Austin. You know, I maybe would have had to move to Minnesota,
Ohio.
Right?
Yeah.
So the way I see it is that my life has happened the way it's supposed to happen, in the sense that when I lived here before in Austin, before Austin FC was even a thought, I fell in love with this city, and that allowed me to, when Austin FC was built, and I would come back later on, to already have enough love for this city to be able to do everything that I did here. And it is thanks also to you and you guys and the way you already build Wrestling TV from the start, opening the mics in Twitter Spaces to anyone. It is that will of wanting to make professional soccer reachable for the fans. Mm-hmm. You guys did that. You have done so with anyone, and it was through that door that I came through. It was through the door that I was able to get here. And it was through that door that I did everything that I did. And of course, I did it because of you, because of Wrestling TV, because it was, like I said, it was the right thing to do. But it was also because, one, I liked it, obviously. And two, it was a way to repay everything that you guys have given me. Like I said, these past years have been unbelievable for me. I feel like I can wake up tomorrow and all of this would have been a dream, you know?
Yeah. I feel the same. We've lived some great things, man. And my voice cracked earlier, but I want to say it again. It's like people don't have to care about you, bro. Everybody lives their own life. You know, as men, we're all men in this room right now. We've all lived silent battles that you don't tell anybody about.
Yeah.
And when you choose to share those things, when you share them with somebody, they don't have to care about you, bro. They're living their own life. People have their own problems. But when somebody cares about you and they choose to, like you did with us, and hopefully we did this, you know, you're saying that we did the same with you. Those people are special, bro.
Yeah.
When people really care about you like that,
Bro.
those people are worth keeping around you.
Especially if you meet someone who's just genuine, just like, you know, it was great. And also, you raised levels, but you've also raised my blood pressure, brother, with all the America debates that we've had in the past, bro. And I just want to tell you here in person, look, at the end of the day, I think you're leaving with the last laugh, brother. I mean, America is in turmoil, and yeah, but yeah, brother, I just wanted to say that, bro, man. I'm gonna miss you, bro.
No, man,
Right, man.
really.
We can cut it here. We can cut it here. I just
Give my boy a tissue, bro.
I just want to say, look, man, I've had a rough week. And I've also been hearing this quote. I was telling Aaron, I've been hearing this quote this entire offseason. And I've seen it in multiple places. And God sends you chaos right before something massive. And this is my chaos. You know what I'm saying? And we have a really good team here right now. And I feel like we're managing the chaos right now. Obviously, losing you is one of the biggest pieces that is like the eye of the hurricane or whatnot, category 5 damn near. But no, this is chaos. We're going to weather through the storm. We have a good group of guys here. You know, we got Aaron, Primo, Diego, Brian, Bali, you know, everybody that does work, Salome, Scott, and Dante. Sorry, you know, we have a lot of good things coming up. And like I said earlier, we now have a standard, and I have no intentions of dropping. And if we don't have any communications for 6 months, a year, probably won't be the case. But next time we speak, I'm hoping to bring good results and not say, oh, dude, we lost this, or, oh, man, we can't, da-da-da. You know, I'm hoping to keep the same standard that you left here with us.
I'm gonna tell you something y'all did for me, and it's that because I'm someone that I have no idea how I got here, right? Because we all learned on the go, because we all experienced so many random things when we had no experience. Doing everything with Russian TV out of the blue, suddenly going to the press box, suddenly asking questions to the coach and players, suddenly having Messi in front of me, suddenly asking questions to fans, suddenly doing anything that I had no idea how I was going to be able to do them, but I just knew that I had to, and that I just needed to do things the way I thought it was right. That mindset is what is helping me to move to Spain right now, because Spain is a place that I have never been to. I've traveled to many places, but never Europe, never Spain. I've know a few people from Spain, but you know nothing. I don't know how they are in their own country. I don't know anything. I'm going into a very unknown place, and I'm going calm. I'm going with a really good mindset of it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter what I face. I just need to do the things that I need to do in the right way and calmly, like I did in Washington TV, and everything's gonna be fine.
Dang.
That's a good way to end it, mate. Well, best of luck, brother, wherever you go. If you ever have any hardships, you can fall back on us, and you know, just know that you have some. I consider you my brother, and you have us here, bro.
I'll come back. I mean, I'll come back. My family is here.
Well,
you guys are also family, so you guys are also here.
We'll go over there too. I'm trying to go to Europe.
I'm down.
I've been wanting to go to Europe. Aaron and I were talking about Europe today in the morning. So, hey, don't be surprised if we pop in Barcelona.
No,
2028.
Catch a game, bro.
Type shit.
That
Type
will
shit.
be some random. The whole Washington TV crew, like
Primo's been not to Spain but to England, right?
No, Italy and Germany.
Damn, Mr. International.
Like close to
Talking about international people over
bro.
here.
We can do the exact same job that we did in Copa America and Copa Oro in La Liga.
And like,
Stepping our manager on
right?
his toes. But alrighty, we'll conclude episode 300 there. The closing of a cycle. Like everybody has already told you, mate. Best of luck. Thank you for everything you did, not just for We're Washington TV, but the entire media landscape. I think you not having any experience, us not having any experience, kind of learning on the go. I seen it for myself. The media in 2025, when you were there applying, I wouldn't say applying pressure, but asking good questions, being there week in and week out in the midweeks, which were very special to me. I think you put the media on notice, and they also elevated their game a little bit. I'm not gonna say that they've always been good, but the questions asked now to pre-football critic are night and day. I seen it, I live it, I do the quotes, I do the graphics, I listen to these questions every time that they drop, and things have gotten better since you have left your mark with Austin FC Media. So best of luck. We wish you the best, and everybody is already wishing you the best, brother. So, you left great memories here with us. You left your mark, and like I said, the standard that you leave with Austin TV is something that I'm eternally grateful for, because now I'll say, hey, this is what we need. This is how we operate. Can't take anything less than that. And that's how we're going to move forward. One way or another, we're going to have to move forward. Like you said, we're both embarking new journeys, You have this new one that you're going to be adventuring on like a Spanish conquistador. And then we have this one here. We're like holding the fort where one of our top generals has now left, and we have to hold it from Native American attacks. We're in Comanche regions. In Austin, Texas, right now.
That's H out of context, right?
That's a perfect H out of context.
But all righty, we're going to get out of here, man, and I hope to see you soon, brother. Take care.
I just wanna send a last message to, I already, said everything that y'all did for me, but I also want to say thanks to every single person that's hearing this and that sent me a message, that commented on the thank you post, that has reached out to me. Like I said, it's been mind-blowing, all of the love that I've gotten from the Austin FC fan base, and just just the world of Austin FC, and I just really appreciate it. I never expected to receive this kind of love in whenever I was gonna leave, never in my wildest dreams. So thank you for every single message, for every single reaction, for every single everything. I've seen it, and I can't believe it, and it makes me really happy.
All righty, episode 300. We'll see you guys soon without Alex, but we wish him the best.